Well, welcome to another car review. And in case you couldn't judge from the title, I'm going to review... Oh, someone just spilled their popcorn in the parking lot. I was able to get a decent camera angle this time, and one that's preferably actually going to stay up. Thank God for Mazda's cup holders. You get a decent angle of me driving. So, I got to see one battle after another in the IMAX theater. And I can honestly say, does it live up to the hype? Well, yes and no. And the only reason why I say I'm mixed on it is because, just like Weapons, I felt like it was a great movie, but it is not the game changer, because when I looked at the reviews for this movie, or if anyone has, it has, pretty much spot on reviews, like 10 out of 10 stars, almost 100% on all the critic sites. Now, I tend to not listen to critics anymore because they tend to be negative, and I would rather just go in forming my own opinion. So, does this live up to any of the hype? Well, I'm just going to flat out say, yeah, I'm mixed on it, because even though I really enjoyed the film, I have to say, just like Weapons, it is massively overhyped. It is nothing crazy, but there is still a lot to like about it. Now, before, I just want to start off by mentioning, because I am going to go on a rant in a minute, because something did happen, and I had for the first 30 or 40 minutes, I was worried I was going to get a horrible theater experience thanks to two people. And this guy that came into the theater, he was interacting with me right off the gate. He seemed pretty chill. He was with his girlfriend. Of course, God decided to mock me today, again, by flexing, hey, look at this nice happy couple that's going to the movies. You can do this with another girlfriend, Tristan. Yeah, thanks God for flexing that, because for 40 minutes of this movie, this guy and his girlfriend were straight up talking the entire time, and I don't know if he was fingering her or something. I don't know. They were definitely making out and being all lovey-dovey on each other. It made things quite uncomfortable and a bit distracting. So, but that's besides the point. I'll get into that a little bit near the end. So, first of all, let me actually talk about the movie. I will be honest. This movie was hyped up as like a big action movie. If you're going in expecting action, you're not going to get that. This isn't some Fast and Furious, absolutely insano style action. You do get action in the first 30-ish minutes of the movie and then the last half of the movie. But this is mainly a drama film. And yeah, I will say the action for the most part is really cool, particularly near the end. I'm going to get into the action near the end because it is really cool. So, near the last 40-ish minutes of the film, all the key players, all three characters, I'm not going to spoil the other character, but obviously Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm not going to spoil the other two, but all three key players are part of this car chase, essentially, and it's down an up and down winding road. And I can honestly say it was some of the most suspenseful chases I've seen in a while. So if that's where a majority of the hype was from, they got that down to a T, because that chase scene, doggy, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. It was a really well done chase. In fact, the entire last 40 minutes of this movie is really well done. In fact, most of the movie is like that. This movie's kind of like another movie I'm going to mention is Uncut Gems, because of how anxiety-inducing it is. This movie has so much. It has a wild soundtrack with a piano going for I swear to God, maybe 20 minutes. For an entire sequence, this soundtrack is going absolutely insano style. And it made the movie even more engaging. So, one thing I want to mention, why I thought this was going to be a bad theater experience, is because your enjoyment of this movie really just depends on what kind of movie you're looking for. And the guy that I was mentioning at the beginning with his girlfriends is a perfect example, like a spitting, because he and his girlfriend left, like I said, 40 minutes into the movie. And before he left, he leaned over to me and just said, like, hey, me and her are going to take off. This wasn't the movie we expected. So, but you're pretty chill. So props to him if he happens to catch this video online. Props to him for actually saying, like, I seem pretty chill. He seemed like a chill guy. Granted, I felt like him talking throughout the entire movie and kissing his girlfriend was a bit annoying. And it's not because I'm single and lonely. Okay, it is partially to do with that. I get it. I'm single and lonely. You don't have to make out with your girlfriend every 2 seconds, dude. But he seemed pretty chill. But he was a pitch perfect example of whether or not you're going to enjoy this movie. Because this movie is not action-packed by any means. But it is, in my opinion, really engaging. Like, just the characters, the story, where it all goes. I mean, Sean Penn does a spectacular job playing this absolutely, I'm just going to say, disgusting human being in this movie. I never thought I would see his boner in this movie. In the first 5 minutes, you see him. It's going to sound weird without context, but I swear to God, I don't know if the director asked him to pop a boner for this scene, but if he asked him to, well, big kudos to him for trying to at least hold a boner for approximately 3 minutes. No context needed. You'll get all that within the first 3 minutes of the movie if you happen to watch it. But yeah, if you are going in expecting action, you're going to be very disappointed because, yeah, like the guy and his girlfriend, you are going to leave within 30 or 40 minutes of this film. Or you're going to enjoy the film like I did by going in not expecting action, but expecting a good story. And in my opinion, this movie really does succeed. So, with that all being said, I don't think it's like the 10 out of 10, but it is fairly close. Like I said before, with Weapons, it was just another overhyped film where the second you watch it, it is really good. There's this dude flashing his brights at me. What an a-hole. Flashing his brights at me. I'm not going to bother getting into that. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. But there is not a whole lot to the movie besides the story. It's mostly a drama. Like I said, if you're going in and an action-packed film, you're not going to get that. In the first 30 minutes, you do get a lot of story set up, and there is a lot of action, and a really cool chase sequence. Not as cool as the one at the end, but there is a really spectacular chase sequence, in my opinion. Bunch of car crashes. Apparently, there's a character name that did get a giggle in my theater, and it got a giggle out of me, I'm not going to lie. But there's a character in this movie, but for some weird reason, it just made me laugh. But her character name was Jungle Pussy. I'm not even kidding. That was the character's name, and that's how they framed her as. And later on in the movie, when the white supremacists, yes, there are a bunch of racists in this movie. Shocker, I know. But at one point, they're talking about the character, and when they say, like, oh, whatever happened to her? And they're like, oh, she died. It's like, damn, no more pussy. And I'm not going to lie, it got a decent laugh out of me. In fact, this movie, that's another praise I want to give this movie. This movie is funny. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's a great actor. He really needs more Oscars than the one he got in The Revenant. But in this movie, God damn it, he gave it his all. He was funny in this. He was great. He put on a great performance. So, yeah, and that's really all well and dandy. And there's a really cool sequence, and if you've seen the trailer for it, they use the trailer song, and it's a great needle drop in the movie. That I will be honest. There is a really great needle drop using that trailer song, which is really cool. But anyway, I don't have much to say about it other than the fact that, you know, it really lives up to the hype in my opinion, but it also doesn't. I'm trying to pay attention to the road, so I'm sorry if none of this makes sense. I keep backtracking. I don't have a script with me, nor do I have a script planned. I'm literally just winging it right now. But yeah, the movie is really, really good. Not a 10 out of 10. It's not even Paul Thomas Anderson's greatest movie. Now, if you know the director, which I bet not a whole lot of people know about him, he did the movie Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Licorice Pizza, There Will Be Blood. All great movies, by the way. I haven't seen Licorice Pizza yet. I do want to see that one. But he's made some really great movies. And this is just another movie he added to his filmography that's also really great. It just happens to not be his best film, but it's still extremely good. I highly recommend it. I was debating about tonight because I just got off work. I got the next couple of days off to drink, go to a bar, or go and see a movie. And you know what? Even though my coworkers love a bunch of horror movies and everything, a movie like this, even though it won't interest them, was something that I really wanted to see. And it was a good time. In fact, the theater was fairly packed. It was a decently packed theater, and everyone was having a good time. We were laughing. Just like Weapons, it was a fun theater experience. It was just that first 30 minutes, I got a little worried with the one dude that had his girlfriend, and they were chatting up a storm, making out. I mean, at this point, I don't know if it was God mocking me, the fact that I don't have a girlfriend or anything like that. It was just a awkward situation, but nothing crazy. And I dropped my remote. So yeah, I don't have much to say about this movie other than the fact that it's a really good movie. I recommend it. If y'all happen to have girlfriends, it's a good date movie. Now, anybody wants to see this movie and doesn't have a date, I'm free. I don't mind seeing the movie again, especially in IMAX. I can sacrifice some more money on this. I just immediately dropped one of my M&Ms. Holy shit. But yeah, if anyone is free and wants to see this movie or is interested in seeing this movie, I am open to it. I am free for the next couple of days. So if anyone's in town and wants to see this movie, I recommend it. Anyway, take it easy. I've already been yapping for 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short by saying, go see it if you haven't already. See ya.